And speaking of, we are ready to get into our first round of Top Cut. So let's see this incredible clash.
And it's PK called it. It's a battle of the ages, the age-old matchup.
You know, we had to show you the SunseedJess versus Trishula. I am so excited to see both of these casters and to see what they've brought for this new Moonrise meta.
Ooh, mulligan to kick things off from Jess here. Not a big fan of the hand, but 2 Lunar coming out, so could potentially be seeing a Lunar aggro.
Us getting ready to go here. And just starting us out, casting out the classic Elestrals turn 1 play. Ask Rabbit in defense to draw 3 from the top of your deck. Look at them, put 1 into your hand. We were for a while feeling quite luxurious with Equilinks being limited, but now we are back to that fear.
That is an Eddie.
We do have an Eddie coming out from Trishula's side, and that is a very effective way to deal with an Ask Rabbit. Unless there is an answer here, Eddie is going to be moving that Ask Rabbit into attack position. There we go.
Ask Rabbit. Now, we've seen an aggressive bunny before, but I don't, unless Jess has a response here, I don't think this bunny will be long, and it is not.
No, and Jess does have that 1 back row set, but it's not always great to prioritize the bunny, especially if you have Eddie in hand and you know you can come back and deal with this other Eddie, depending on these 2 back row that Trishula has set here.
Now the question, that is a Gorgons.
Mm-hmm. It seems like Trishula does value this Eddie. Now, whether that be because he just wants to maintain board presence or, I'm always dreaming of an Ascension, who can say? But regardless, Gorgon's Gaze is coming out.
Yeah, I feel like Gorgon's Gaze is a very expensive response to keep a 1-drop on the field. So it has to be that Trishula has some play in his hand that he is fully ready to do, or he just wants to out the Eddie and, like you said, keep board presence.
Yeah, and Jess didn't prioritize saving that Ask Rabbit last time, so Trishula's not sure what this back row is. And is
Nobby.
Nobby? Yeah. We see a Nobby come out, which means that not only is Jess's Eddie affected, well, there might be no effect at all because that Gorgon's Gaze from Jess's side is coming out.
Yep, the beautiful full art Gorgon's Gaze from Daybreak.
Mm-hmm. And in response, Trishula said, I'm getting rid of your Eddie one way or another.
Fine, you won't let me attack it? I'll just Earthquake it.
Exactly. And sets a second back row and goes ahead and hits for 1. So it seems spirit-wise that we're pretty equal here, but Jess is a bit on the back foot. Although if you have your own Earthquake to answer that, get rid of the Na'vi, then that'll help for sure. Oh. And another Eddie. Oh, I feel like I'm in Daybreak again.
Yeah, we're seeing Na'vis and Eddies and Earthquakes and Gorgon's Gaze. All the stuff we're used to seeing. The staples in the decks have not changed.
Yes, the comforts of home. It's almost refreshingly familiar. And Trishula is going to be answering
the shield.
Exactly, which means that, again, Trishula is really prioritizing keeping this Eddie on board. And I don't know if, again, that's just for board presence, if there's a plan here. We do see a second back row set again.
It would be wild if Trish was holding on to this Eddie because he has Rock in a Hard Place. And he just wants to play it.
And I would respect that a lot, but instead we're just going to see a swing and just takes 1 spirit in damage. And here comes that Eddie again that was bounced back previously. But but Trishula just keeps setting these back row, and it seems that this is finally the turn that Trishula's Eddie goes down.
Jess was very determined to defeat Trishula's Eddie with her Eddie. As Trish deciding what he wants to do, and it looks like we're going to be seeing an Ask Rabbit in defense. Yep, and it is very possible that a bunny hangs around for probably more often than you would like to see it if you're on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's cute and fun to look at.
Exactly. And we do see a third back row set and passed back over to Jess. Trishula is not playing scared of Hurricane, and that is an excellent point, although we're talking about it. So now the curse of the day, which has been that every time we mention it, it happens.
Yeah, last time I said it, it happened, so.
But instead we see Zeus come out, which will in fact allow Eddie to hit over Astrabbit if one of those back row doesn't intend to stop it.
And the Spectaris is going to be coming out here. The Zeus disenchant. This will allow Spectaris or Eddie to swing over.
Yep, that Astrabbit is very much vulnerable right now. And even if there's, like a tsunami, of course, Eddie isn't affected by that. This will either be a turn where Trishula has to let this rabbit go down, or the answer is going to be very expensive.
Yeah, and this is something that I've noticed a lot of players doing, and something you don't really click with as you're going through. And now the tsunami comes out, but if you do have a water enchanted Elestral, you swing with that first with back row live to kind of play around tsunami, and it's not something that you would intuitively think of if you're just kind of about, oh, I have a better target, I'm just going to go for an attack here. But the attacking with the order is really, really important, as we see Werepup and a full moon being added to hand from Trish.
Excellent. Man, I love Werepup. He is just so cute, especially that stellar promo one from the pack.
Blister.
Yeah.
So good. Can only imagine that it's the full moon, but we've been duped before.
I wonder what it is. That's true. And as we know from earlier, Trishula do not pay off of the Werepup, but we see a full moon come out. Looks like that was already one that was set.
Interesting.
And like a void coming out. We're figuring this out. We see, I guess that is the damage being taken from Jess. There we go. So I think we were just counting that out.
Yep.
And
three spirits left.
Yeah, this game is quickly coming to an end. However, with that Zeus, Jess still absolutely has the ability to hit over that Like a Void, although we are going to see an Ambrosia being paid for off of Zeus. So Zeus is going to be going to the Underworld, and a Water and 2 Thunders going back to the Spirit deck.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of players do as well with the Divine, is you take the Spirit off to play something like an Ambrosia to kind of beef your Spirit deck back up. And we're seeing a Galaxy come out from Trishula. I think Jess is trying to decide, maybe she's deciding if she wants to scoop here.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because obviously Jess does have the Spirit advantage by just 1 Spirit right now. But yeah, Trishula's board state is
Yep, she's gonna take the 4, and
yeah.
So that'll leave with 2.
We are at 2 and 2, although now the damage from the Galaxy. Yep. And Trishula.
Oh, the full moon play in Battle Step
to
add the spirits. So Trish was trying to see, do you have a response to the attack? And if there's no response to the attack, then Trish is like, okay, I'm going to play my full moon, enchant more, and take you out completely. So,
and it seems like both players are looking at these new hands. Hopefully they're happy with them, and we can get into this game.
Yeah, let's see. And an expend to draw from Jess here. So no Elestral going to be coming out here. We'll see a set and set 1 pass.
Okay.
Yep.
Very interesting. And here comes Elechick, which if that set card is a Gorgon's Gaze, now is the time. But nope, Elechick is going to be able to go in, search for Zeus.
Yeah, Elechick first turn, a wonderful play to have to kind of set your strategy up, right? Like, even if you don't play the Zeus immediately or whatever divine you end up searching for, it really just sets you up for success and sets you up for future turns, and gives you the opportunity to build your strategy and put your pieces together to be able to execute. So Trish swings in for damage, and we have Eddie coming back to the field.
Okay, here comes Eddie. There we go. And just taking a look at that back row, setting another and attempting to swing over Elechick, which Trishula is simply going to let go down, which makes sense. Elechick has done its job. It got the Divine Rune and is free to rest in the underworld for now.
And that is a Astrabbit. We'll see if a response is going to come through.
It's a bit hard to tell, but I think based on what Trishula is doing right now, looking at the top 3 of his deck, and to choose one, put it in his hand, I'm thinking it is Astrabbit. But
yeah, I mean, that would have been the time to play it, you know? You have Titanostrike, Thunder, and Thunderstorm, but Cryoblast going to be coming out to out the Eddie, and Rabbit going to swing for 1.
And we've seen a lot of these attack rabbits today as well. And
some aggressive bunnies.
Again, that informs us that maybe one of those set cards is, I don't know, a tsunami? So that Trishula feels pretty safe sitting at that rabbit. And here comes a Specteris, that gorgeous stained glass art.
Yep. So now, Trish, if it was a tsunami, hope you have something else. If not, Bunny's going to the underworld. And it's going to be a shield. Okay. So that Specteris being bounced back to hand, and Bunny lives to see another turn. Yeah. Trish has been in the first game too. He did shield, he did Gorgons. He was keeping his Eddie alive. Now he's keeping the Bunny alive.
And here comes Werepup, and I'm wondering if that set card is a full moon. Because last time Trishula didn't play Werepup until so the search was for full moon. We do see that search go off, and again, last time the same thing happened, but that set card was still a full moon.
Yep, and it makes you wonder: was the Bunny just bait to misenchant Specteris?
But it seems that no. Trishula does set one, which, again, educated guess, maybe that full moon. And I'm thinking that other back row is something that can at least protect the Werepup and keep it safe for next turn.
Yeah, logically speaking, he probably has full moon and tsunami set, as we see Viscerus coming down to the field.
I feel like it's never a true Jess deck unless she can get in some kind of plant card. So here is
100%.
Here is that Viscerus.
The other thing you could potentially do, not ideal, but you could activate full moon during battle step, make the attack illegal, and then let Viscerus not be able to go over anything. So that way it can't special cast. But
that might be happening.
Yeah. So enchants the Bunny. Interesting.
And Jess is going to Gorgon's Gaze.
The Werepup.
Oh, to prevent that ascension. Oh. Wow. Okay. And we know that that's probably the only full moon that Trishula has. So that was a very valuable Gorgon's Gaze from Jess. And Werepup is gone now to the underworld.
Yep.
Here comes that second Viscerus as well. Going into this next turn, Trishula is going to have to reevaluate, decide where to go from here. Of course, 2 Viscerus is quite intimidating. Yes, and we see a Navi come down, a Battle of the Bugs.
What his potential future plays are. Like, what have I already played? What's no longer in my deck? Like, we've seen 2 Werepups come down. We're going to see an Ambrosia coming off. Interesting. He takes the Thunder off the Rabbit to play Ambrosia and leaves the Rabbit misenchanted.
Okay.
Oh, it's to keep because it's Lunar Enchanted, so Navi's effect will not impact the Rabbit.
Yeah, which was a very smart play from Trishula.
Yep. Hey, one day we'll see Volclip's top 8, maybe.
Thank you for that. I really needed that, actually.
You're welcome. Rabbit staying Lunar Enchanted, and the Zeus going to come out.
Well, that will make sure you don't have to crash. That will do it.
that will take the attack position Viserys down. And I think that's what they're like, yeah, so I did this, it has -2 because of Navi. So I think they're just trying to figure out like how much what the exact stats are. So yep, so now Astrabbit will go to attack because now it can go 2/1. So I think Astrabbit is going to attack that Viserys in attack position. So we'll see what Jess responds with here.
You know, whatever it may be.
Yeah, or like we see here, the Vis goes, and now maybe Jess will respond. But in that sense, oh, nope, no response. So Navi effect is going to trigger here. And we will see a Doppelganger potentially swing for 2.
And thank you, Lunar Spirit under Astrabbit. Astrabbit is part of the Lunar Gang, is not being negatively affected by this Doppelganger right now.
Yep. That was really smart. Trish using the board, but also recognizing the board state, knowing that Nabi had potentially impacted. Oh, and the shield sending the Doppelganger back to hand. It's expensive, though. That's 3 spirits.
Yeah, but that's a really cool play from Jess to wait until Trishula had gotten the Ascension off and then shielding back the more valuable Doppelganger. Unfortunately, she did sacrifice both of her Viserys, but we do see Spectaris come out again, Water Enchanted, just to make sure that we're not playing around a Tsunami here, and passing back over to Trishula.
Yeah, and it's thinking about those kinds of plays, that is a properly enchanted Spectaris.
And there goes Spectaris.
Yeah, and it's just thinking about those kinds of plays, right? Like, does my opponent have Tsunami? Okay, I'll play my Elestral Water Enchanted to play around it. So that way I know I can win with just outright attack. So that's what I'll do. And a Quackle.
Quackle and a Tackle. Gonna heal us back for 3 Thunder. Unfortunately, unless Jess has... Okay, we have Ambrosia. Maybe Jess has a Zeus or something that's gonna allow us to power down that Spectaris and hit over it.
Yeah, just looking at the hand, seeing what she wants to... The Cryoblast is interesting, or the Fleur Mine is interesting. Could potentially be a Cryoblast.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking ahead.
Yeah, your brain was just saying, oh gosh, Cryoblast, Cryoblast, Cryoblast.
I see. Yeah, okay, there it is.
That would get rid of it. You were totally right there. And now Quackle is free to, in fact, a tackle.
Quackle going to a tackle, burning the 1 spirit. Trish deciding what he wants to do here. Looks like we're going to see another Spectaris. I think this is the 3rd Spectaris, if I'm not mistaken, that we've seen from Trish.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know at least the 2, but then we've seen Jess had the same one come out twice. So there's been a lot of Spectaris action happening here. Of course, Trishula does have the Spectaris on board, but they both have the 2 set runes. Total, and the beautiful stained glass art Spectaris from Jess comes out. And are we going to be
in battle step? Yep, there it is. In the battle step, suppress the Spectaris. That way Jess's Spectaris will stay alive.
Oh, I love watching Jess play Elestrals.
You have to wonder if Jess potentially has another Ambrosia in hand and only just played 1 and knows that this is going to be expensive, but I can afford to do it right now.
I wouldn't be surprised, but we see an Eddy come down from Trishula and going to be moving that Spectaris into defense, and it simply goes down. Jess is going to draw for turn here.
Are we going to see an Eddy in response to the Eddy? No, it's a Quackle.
Another Quackle. Okay, healing us back once more.
The net to gain, tying the spirit count.
So no matter, it's like these are one of those back and forth games that we talked about.
The Mount Olympus coming down.
Ooh.
So now Eddy cannot swing over Quackle unless Trish has a Thunder Spirit and enchants the Eddy with the Thunder Spirit, so that it could swing over. Yeah, think like a player. Let's see.
Oh, but we do see Ambrosia paid for off of that Eddy, which I'm thinking means we're not going to see a Thunder Enchanted Eddy. He has done his job. He has served his time.
Bringing Trish back up.
Oh,
Oh.
that's why we saw the payoff of the Eddy, so that Trishula could get that spirit off the board to play that Laurels. Oh my gosh.
Wow, wow, wow. And a Werepup comes down. No response from Jess. So it looks like we're going to be seeing, that's probably a full moon.
Set is not a full moon. We're not going to see an ascension right now this turn, but that set is probably a full moon.
Probably a full moon.
But as we know from last time, that even if that's activated, Jess is not afraid to Gorgon's Gaze and prevent it from having any ascension effect.
Yeah, ooh, the expend to draw, and that is going to do it. She calls it there. Top 8. Trishula moving on, getting a 2-0 victory over Jess. That was a very, very good clash.